do you want to do?
I don't know. No intro yet. Welcome, everybody, to the Glaziar Gamble podcast. This is episode 28, our Marvel/entertainment section. We do have two sections. If you like sports, feel free to check out our other one. This one is Marvel, though. And we got some good stuff to talk about. We got Norman Reedus potentially being Ghost Rider, like we've mentioned in multiple episodes.
Last week.
Including last week. We have a secret movie involving Chris Evans, Scarlett Johannson. We got some sword news with Jimmy Woo. Moon Knight discussion, Spider-Man discussion, we have a multiple Spider-Man. We got Multiverse of Madness. We got a little bit of Eternal stuff, Agatha House of Darkness, some Sony
Harkness as well.
Harkness.
Agatha probably gonna be very dark though.
Dark
so
comic.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, dark comedy. And then we got Sony Marvel news and Morbius stuff.
Sony.
Yeah, Sony stuff. She-Hulk, Black Panther 2. Then we got our miscellaneous section. We got Batman news. We got a question that Joe posed. We got maybe some Witcher talk. Joe hasn't quite finished yet, so I don't want to spoil it too much. And then we got, happy birthday to a famous celebrity and some Riot Games discussion. Let's start with Marvel, obviously. First thing I want to talk about is that Norman Reedus stuff.
So last week we specifically said, we were like, oh, Keanu news, right?
Yeah.
Keanu was like, yeah, I met with Feige. We haven't found a role yet. And we were talking, we were like, listen, if you haven't found a role yet, the role, which everyone was like, Ghost Rider, it doesn't matter what age you are because they're going to CGI you.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, right? So we were like, if it hasn't been Ghost Rider, then they have cast Ghost Rider.
That means they know who they want as Ghost Rider.
Yeah, and we know who we want as Ghost Rider.
Norman
and
Reedus.
It's obvious.
Yeah. Yep. The guy who's been talking about wanting to be Ghost Rider since Walking Dead season 6?
Yeah, it was a long time ago. They're like maybe it was when Michonne first came over, because
I remember Norman Reedus talking about wanting to play Ghost Rider in Marvel, whatever season it was, where Daryl is by himself and finds Carol in the woods.
5.
Okay, so 5.
So 5 because Carol.
5.
Yeah, because Carol killed the people at the prison. Rick exiled her, and then she saved them, and then Daryl found her in the woods. Yeah. So
Norman Reedus, since Walking Dead season 5, has discussed wanting to play Ghost Rider. 1, because of his love for motorcycles. 2, because he likes the character themselves. 3, because he thinks he can play the character well and provide new information or a new
you got Denai Guerrera, you got Lauren Ridloff, but they've transitioned from The Walking Dead.
Andrew Lincoln, somebody they might want to discuss. Jeffrey Dean Morgan, that's done superhero stuff in the past.
Yeah. So I mean, you love to see it. So even he retweeted an Instagram post
and liked over 20 tweets.
Yeah, of him as his with a mock-up of Ghost Rider where like half his face is the Ghost Rider thing. Yeah. The only thing that's bugging me is people are like clickbaiting that fact, like that rumor. And what they're doing is they're putting a picture of Norman Reedus, and then the next one is a picture of Ghost Rider. But this Ghost Rider has the leather jacket with the lines, and I'm like, that's not Reyes. The same one. Yeah, that's not the one he would play. So stop. No. So it'd be Johnny Blaze. It'd be the motorcycle. That's who it would be.
He wouldn't be the Robby Reyes version. If they did Robby Reyes, that'd be Gabriel Luna.
Yeah.
Who is also currently campaigning to come back as Ghost Rider. Which, and if you follow Joe or myself on Twitter, you would see, because I believe I retweeted Joe's tweet. He said, why not both?
Yeah, they're two different Ghost Riders.
Yeah, you have the multiverse. You can have them both.
Yeah. And they both did good. Like, Gabriel Luna was supposed to get his own Hulu series.
That was right during the purchase by Disney, though. So everything
they canceled all their TV stuff so they could acquire as much product as they could. So yeah, I have no problem with Gabriel Luna, and plus Gabriel Luna's Ghost Rider in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. did the sling ring thing with his whip. It's exactly like a sling ring portal, except he went to the dark domain or the hell or wherever the hell.
Yeah, and Ghost Rider can open portals. Like that's the whole reason why Elsa Bloodstone and he go hunting in the dark dimension. And the comic books is because Ghost Rider opens the portal. Yeah. So I'm fine with both. If I have to pick, I'm sorry, Gabriel, but I'd rather have Norman because just personal bias.
Then Midnight Suns, he's going to be with.
Right.
You know, Moon Knight, he's going to be with Punisher. He's going to be with Doctor Strange, probably Blade. Like,
however, Gabriel Luna is interactive with fans. He's interactive with like other Marvel content, similar like Simu Liu, where he interacts with fans, replies to things, responds to other Marvel topics.
Yeah.
Gabriel Luna does the same thing, which in my opinion, we've talked about this before. When you have people and actors like that, it's kind of hard for them to fail. So I feel like Gabriel Luna would be a great choice.
Yeah, the only thing is you have to see maybe Coulson come back in Secret Invasion. You have to see Quake come back, maybe in Secret Invasion, before you see a Gabriel Luna's Ghost Rider.
Sure.
Like that, you have to see those two first.
And I'm fine even if Norman Reedus gets a couple movies and then hands the torch off.
Yeah.
Torch. And I put down in our notes that Ghost Rider talks heating up. Made myself chuckle.
I mean, we said this last week. Like, if people were watching, like, you would have had all this information already. So,
just yet another thing that we were ahead of the curve on.
We don't even have sources, or do we?
Kind of. We have sources, but a lot of it is just being smart theories.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously, I do try to reach out to people that I don't always get responses. But
you gotta shoot your shot.
Right. It's like there was for our sports section, I reached out to an Orlando Magic guy earlier this year, and he just did respond. Cleveland Browns guy responded. So sometimes you get people to respond. Other times they just completely ignore you.
I mean, Cole Anthony for the Orlando Magic is the Timberwolves killer. So
yeah. And he's just good. But so we do have some sources, but a lot of it's just being smart, being ahead of the curve. People, I'm convinced that sometimes stuff that we say makes its way through inadvertently. I'm just convinced at this point. There's too many coincidences. We've had like 8 or 9 topics that we've talked about that a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, all of a sudden just blows up, and it's like, wait, we talked about this weeks ago.
Someone's like.
Right now somebody's like, okay, what are they going to talk about next?
I can tweet this. I've got the blue check mark.
Right. Yeah. These guys have like no followers. I have like 200. My 200 will retweet it to somebody that has like 1,000, and then that 1,000 will credit me as the idea.
Exactly.
But yeah, so I'm super excited for Norman Reedus. I think he's absolutely going to get the job. I think Keanu, that's a big reason why he's delayed on getting a job. And
like we talked about this last week, Keanu's always going to have that big role. Like, so it's like he couldn't join the MCU earlier because of John Wick 3 or John Wick 4 or whatever, Matrix, stuff like that. And Norman Reedus has one more half season of Walking Dead, which is probably already filmed, and then he's like free.
He's freed up. Yeah.
So,
and Norman Reedus, I mentioned this a while back. I'm convinced it's probably early teens or single digit podcast episode. I mentioned that Norman Reedus has done a huge variety of things. Like, he was on the TV show Charmed as like the sleaze bag. He just has a huge variety of abilities. So he can be the tough guy Ghost Rider, but he can bring in comedy. That I think that's the comedy part is where Nick Cage's Ghost Rider kind of fell short. Even though Nick Cage is actually like a hilarious person,
more on Nick Cage later.
A lot of the time his humor falls short for people. And it's similar to like Will Ferrell. I know that's a weird comparison.
In my head. No, I mean, you're right.
It's like Will Ferrell, Nick Cage. I think where Norman Reedus' humor will actually hit for people, as opposed to like Nick Cage's kind of fell short, similar to Will Ferrell's does.
So, Boondock Saints 3. Norman Reedus was in Boondock Saints 1 and Boondock Saints 2. So they're doing a remake of that, or a continuation of that story, and all those guys are coming back. So
I used to read that comic strip every weekend.
Yeah.
Boondock Saints. I read that every weekend.
Yeah.
But yeah, so super cool. He tweeted out the mock-up. I saw Boss Logic is campaigning for Gabriel Luna, which Boss Logic is tied in with Disney and Marvel already.
Yeah, Boss Logic does art for them.
Yeah, and Gabriel Luna's in Australia and apparently plans to meet up with Boss Logic. So we'll see.
I have no problem with Gabriel Luna, but he's not going to come in as Johnny Blaze. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
And with Gabriel Luna, then you have to set up Coulson, you have to set up Quake, like you said. And if they don't have plans for that, it makes more sense to go with Johnny Blaze.
Yeah.
The next thing we want to talk about, you actually put this in. You put in some information that I actually hadn't heard yet. So I would like you to take the reins on some of these, including there's a secret movie involving Chris Evans and Scarlett Johannson with Marvel.
Yeah, so apparently Marvel are bringing back Chris Evans and Scarlett Johannson are in talks to make them do a secret movie or a movie that they don't want anyone to know about yet. And a lot of people think it'd be him returning the stones. So like if he went and returned the soul stone and say got Nat back somehow, and then they go and return the rest of the stones in this alternate world, and I don't know.
That's weird because the way they explained it made it seem like the soul stone with Nat dying is one of the things that couldn't be reversed because it involved the Infinity Stone.
Yeah, but then again, if he goes there, then Captain America is going to be face to face with Red Skull, and I don't know how.
Well, the stuff that I was looking up said that I hadn't heard about the Chris Evans Scarlett Johansson, but I did hear that Scarlett Johansson was in talks for potentially 2 more Marvel products.
Yeah, so
I was like, oh, maybe that's an animated Black Widow thing, because they did go with What If Black Widow looks like she's going to have some stuff, like maybe they're bringing her into that, or I thought it was going to be something like that.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's secret, so.
Okay.
I don't know. I saw that. I don't know. No.
Yeah, I think that's weird. When I read that, I was like, I don't.
Yeah, I don't know. We need more information on it.
And because that's like a spin-off, that doesn't really fit the Marvel MO of like, is anybody really going to want to go to see that in theaters? Does anybody really want to go see this prequel spin-off just for the credit scene?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's a credit scene. I don't know.
I don't know. I have a hard time believing that, especially if it's supposed to be a secret. Why would that?
Yeah,
seems like a media thing.
Next thing is what people have been wanting since WandaVision. It's kind of like they wanted a like an X-Files type thing
with Jimmy Woo and Darcy.
With Jimmy Woo and Darcy Lewis, right? Where like they team up and they solve these like unsolved cases or crack these cases, because they're both, I don't know, they've good
Jimmy
chemistry.
Woo, Darcy, Wong, they're these side characters that people want more of.
Right.
Wong, you're seeing, is getting that. It's the Wong verse now.
Well, he's the Sorcerer Supreme, so he's
right. Yeah. So I think getting more Darcy, getting more Jimmy Woo in there you can't really go wrong.
Yeah, and I think this thing where they're solving these little mysteries or whatever around the like MCU universe would be great, because you can hint things here, you can solve things here, you can.
It'd be very easy to drop Easter eggs.
Yeah. So,
and one thing that a lot of comic book movies are missing is humor. Deadpool was a perfect example of when you make humor the focus, people love it. Darcy and Jimmy would be like a show where humor might be the first thing instead of the action, instead of the mystery. And I think that's one thing Marvel is currently missing from the current phase, is a comic based, which is why I'm hoping that's what Guardians is like. But apparently Guardians is really heavy and dark. And Agatha is going to be dark. We'll more about that later. But like, I think this phase needs a comedy focused, and I think that would be the perfect duo to do so. Yeah. Shang-Chi was kind of like, I thought it was very funny, but I didn't go in thinking it was going to be a comedy. I want a comedy.
Sure. All right. Next up, a picture of a script. Front page of a script came out. It was for one of the Moon Knight episodes. I don't know if it's had a title on it, but it was directing help by George Clooney, the one and only.
And I saw you put that in the note here, but fun fact, I think it was, I'm not sure how many episodes ago, but I mentioned that there was a rumor that George Clooney might be directing we talked about that George Clooney might be directing in Moon Knight.
Yeah, so
this was easily a month ago or more.
Yeah, so confirmed. It's on a piece of paper. So,
but yet again, we talked about that, and I remember specifically talking about how George Clooney was rumored, and I was like, "Hey, by the way, George Clooney was rumored. He was seen with Oscar Isaac."
So yeah,
just confirmed. So another thing that if you watched our podcast, you would have seen this information sooner.
So a couple things. Multiverse of Madness is going to have. It's going to be No Way Home on steroids. It's going to have cameos. It's going to have reveals. It's going to have.
Which that says a lot considering how big No Way Home was.
Yeah, it's going to be the multiverse on steroids. So there's just a small rumor. Eric Bana rumored to be in it. I don't know what role he's going to play, but he's a recognizable name.
Yeah, and his Hulk was. I believe that Hulk had more views, more showings, or more people saw that movie than the 2000 whatever Hulk.
Edward Norton.
Yeah, I believe Eric Bana's had more people go see it than the Edward Norton one.
Sure. So
people do recognize that.
Yeah. And then so a lot of the multiverse things is Doctor Strange is going to pull all these leaders from different universes and form the Illuminati. And one of the members of the Illuminati is Black Bolt with the Inhumans.
Which we talked about that in our World War Hulk episode.
Yeah, but that would actually mean that Marvel wants to introduce people as Inhumans and not give them gauntlets that give them all their powers. So
what?
What'd you say?
No. So Black Bolt will have like a gauntlet or like a belt or something that
gives
like a
him his
vocal
gauntlet.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. It's like a choker. Like they were popular in the night. He'll have like a choker.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
smart.
Yeah. So,
it'll be like purple energy choker.
Yeah. So I'm hearing seeing things, hearing things from my sources. Saying things like Mr. Fantastic is going to debut. Patrick Stewart's Professor X is going to debut. Wolverine, Hugh Jackman's Wolverine is going to be.
I have heard Hugh Jackman's Wolverine is going to show up. I have heard that his Wolverine will be there.
Deadpool was one of the first ones to he's going to bring in Tobey again to help or something like that.
The leak that I saw was that Hugh Jackman's Wolverine is less than 20 seconds of an appearance.
Yeah. It's gonna be like a brief cameo, like that one where he was like, they walked into the bar when he was there, and he's like, "Fuck off," and then that's it. So
sounds like it'll be a very short one.
Yeah. So I've heard everything from them.
Which makes sense. Black Bolt, it's called the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah. So I'm very excited to hear Black Bolt's lines.
Yeah, me too. Pick a great actor for like somebody with a very recognizable voice would be a perfect choice for that.
Exactly.
But yeah, well, I mean, before he gets given his choker that takes away his voice.
Yeah.
Because you can't be born with inhuman powers. You have to be given them with gauntlets and stuff.
Sure.
But we talked about that in our World War Hulk episode, that the Illuminati are the people that ban Hulk or banish Hulk to Planet Hulk.
Right.
And that's when he starts World War Hulk, which they have confirmed that World War Hulk is something they're working on.
Right.
The first person that Hulk defeats is he comes back and fights Black Bolt. So that would make a ton of sense if he's trying to form the Illuminati and then eventually banish Hulk. Maybe they banish the wrong Hulk because Eric Bana's Hulk does something, but I doubt that.
Yeah, I don't know. I've heard everything.
Okay. But if they do form the Illuminati, that's probably what's going to lead into World War Hulk.
But like Iron Man's part of the Illuminati, Black Panther's part of the Illuminati. It's just mainly these groups that like speak for said groups.
So the most exciting thing about the Illuminati / World War Hulk would be the potential introduction of Sentry and the Inhumans.
Yeah. Mr. Fantastic for me.
And it would be the introduction of the X-Men, Fantastic Four, Inhumans, and Sentry.
A lot of people think that. Well, yeah, Sentry's huge in general.
Yeah.
But a lot of people think that like Chris Evans is gonna come through a portal, and everyone's gonna be like Cap. And then he's gonna be like, "Flame on!" And then like
that would be awesome.
So
that would be amazing. I would love that.
Yeah.
That if they did a Chris Evans as Human Torch just momentarily, that would be That would be fun.
There's so many things that could happen, but
that's why
we'll have to see the
I
movie.
am more excited for Multiverse of Madness than I was for No Way Home.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna blow our minds. And the one thing they're not doing with Multiverse of Madness is they are not showing basically anything about America Chavez.
Right, they're keeping her very hush hush.
Yeah, so
like they didn't even confirm if that door that they opened was her kicking open a portal, or if that was maybe TVA, or if that was.
I don't know.
They didn't confirm any of that.
Yeah, and she like kicks portals open, so I don't know how that's gonna look or work. But
right, and she doesn't have like a costume. She's almost always seen in jeans and a USA
like a leather jacket.
Shirt.
With, yeah.
I want to see. That's why I'm so desperate to see more, because they're not showing her to us. But I did see they released like a teaser poster, and she was the front and center.
Huh?
So hopefully we get some information about her soon.
Sure.
Next thing on our list is another thing that you put in, actually.
That's kind of an obvious thing. Some members of the Eternals are from the Eternals. Are going to appear in future projects. Obviously, you're going to probably see Dane Whitman in Blade. As a Black Knight. That just makes sense. They obviously can travel the universe, so you'll see them in like Thor or Guardians. Or the Marvels. So you're gonna see these people come back and come up. So
sure. Oh, and then we did skip one. I wanted to mention this because we were talking about Multiverse of Madness. You said Black Bolt. We said Eric Bana. Apparently, Doctor Strange. Since we're on the topic of Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange will apparently be the leader or Captain America style role for the next stage of the Avengers.
Sure. I think it's gonna be a lot of there's gonna be a lot of mythical kind of
magic,
powers,
lots of magic
users. You're gonna have Captain Britain, who probably
Miss
doesn't
Marvel's
need
magic gauntlet,
Miss Marvel, Wanda. I can see that.
Yeah.
There was a small like YouTube video I watched about like who had the best glow up, like just outfit design. And it was Wanda.
I'm sure. I was gonna say Wanda probably won.
Wanda. I mean, first thing came to my mind was Sam Wilson, the Captain America. It was that one for me, and they both decided that it was that one. So
Captain Falcon for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sick.
Yeah, I'm a fan of that. I also think Hawkeye would be up there with his new purple.
Yeah.
Personally, I like the purple. I've been wanting the purple. So when the purple came in, I was like, oh yeah, we gotta have that. So Disney Plus, Agatha, we've mentioned. House of Harkness.
There you go.
House of Harkness will be coming out, and could have Bova the Cow.
Yeah, I didn't know this. It was like a cow that raised Wanda, like a humanoid cow made by the High Evolutionary, which is supposed to come in Guardians 3.
Because Guardians has introduced multiple talking animals, like Howard the Duck, Space Dog.
Yeah. So I made this Bova the Cow, which is like a humanoid cow that like takes care of Wanda. But the interesting thing is the cow was there for Wanda and Pietro's birth, so we can see just exactly how they came to be. So like, was it Magneto? Was it like what happened? I don't know.
So,
no one knows. I guess
that could mean that the pull to like try to bring people in to watch Agatha and make sure they get a wider audience that want to come watch it could be that they tease the fact that they tease X-Men. Maybe we see a Magneto. Like, that could be a pull that they bring in.
Right.
If she sees the way that Wanda and Pietro show up.
Yeah.
Not necessarily observing the conception,
right.
But
that's what I would. Let's go.
I think that's weird. I think it's a weird choice to bring in Bova. I don't know. They've brought in other talking animals. It's a weird one. When I read that, I was like, that's a weird one.
Yeah. But
I don't know too much about Bova.
I didn't either. I had to look it up.
But that's the thing, is like you bring in some of these lesser known characters and they might become fan favorites. Like a lot of the Guardians, like
nobody knew much about. Karak or whatever from Eternals.
Right. Or
Ingo's guy.
Or the Taika Waititi's character in Thor.
Korg.
Yeah, Korg. Korg's another one. So bringing in some.
We're gonna go down this hill and gonna find a rock. Not my rock, but.
and then seeing their origin will be, I don't know. I think that'll be a big pull to bring in fans. I don't.
Sure.
I'm repeating myself. The last thing about Agatha is that apparently it's going to be a dark comedy.
As in, like, very dimly lit, or as in, like,
yeah, like
Deadpool,
Venom,
She-Hulk.
Suicide Squad, like super hard to see. The only thing, like, it'll be
just bring in some DC writers then.
Yeah, that'd be very smart. Just super difficult to see. Yeah.
There's a joke with DC Comics where instead of going lights, camera, action, they just go camera, action.
That's funny. It's true though. Yeah, it's supposed to be a dark comedy. I think that perfectly works into Catherine Hahn's skill set.
Sure.
So she's gonna kill it, and I'm gonna absolutely love that show. I already know it. I'm gonna love it. So Sony, Sony, Sony.
Spooked ya.
No, I figured.
Sony. Deals.
Dora.
We went two different ways with that.
Well, the old Roller Coaster Tycoon games, you know, the patrons in Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 always had like random gibberish they were saying. One of the things always sounded like somebody went, Dora. So I always think whenever somebody says Dora, I'm Dora. So let's start with some Sony stuff. You mentioned, you put down, they want Anya Taylor-Joy to play Black Cat, and they want Emma Stone to come back to play Gwen Stacy, and Jennifer Lawrence to play Madam Web. We mentioned Jennifer Lawrence playing Madam Web in 2 episodes ago, so we don't need to go too much into that. That's just another, we're the best. We mentioned this before.
I know a lot of things. We first talked about J-Law back in the day to play Enchantress.
Yep.
But then they kind of mixed that role into.
That's what you said last time. And then we talked about Jennifer Lawrence not sharing how she would feel about playing another superhero.
Yeah. So we talked about it.
We talked about that.
I think it's super smart for them to. Let's see. So I think it would be very smart for Sony to do a Spider-Gwen. However, it has to be that universes. It's got to be the Amazing Spider-Man's kind of universe, multiverse type thing, because Spider-Gwen, how they're doing it with Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse, is younger and kind of Miles Morales' age. So I mean like in MCU wise, I think Gwen Stacy would be better for Miles's kind of thing.
Agreed. Especially because they're doing the kind of whole like romance thing with Miles and her.
Yeah, so I think that would be better for that. However, if Peter goes to college and he runs into a Felicia Hardy, which doesn't exist in our universe but exists in the Amazing Spider-Man's universe, that was kind of Green Goblin's Oscorp's assistant.
Yeah.
Right, Felicia Hardy. But Anya Taylor-Joy is obviously very big right now. She's got the Queen's Gambit on Netflix, more known in the New Mutants as Magic. I know a lot of people saw that one when it comes to Marvel movies. That's kind of up there with.
And like Queen's Gambit wasn't that big.
Yeah,
so it's more known for New Mutants.
New Mutants, yeah. So, but I mean, she can play a superhero or super villain. I don't know, but. Black Cat, you know, is like a love interest for Peter Parker. Like Black Cat, like falls in love with Peter, while also being a villain. It's very weird. So it'd be a different,
very Catwoman-esque with Black man, Batman.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. More on that later. But yeah, I think it'd be smart for them to do Gwen Stacy,
Spider-Man. Sorry, that's kind of them. Sorry, it's my brain. So those are the sorts of things I need to hold back.
So I mean, in Into the Spider-Verse, Gwen Stacy becomes Spider-Man when her Peter Parker dies.
Sure,
it can be the same thing where her Peter Parker looked like Andrew Garfield, and Andrew Garfield died, and then all of a sudden they see each other and it's like fireworks. So
sure.
But then the MCU, if they want to save it for Miles, that makes sense too.
For the Amazing Spider-Man Gwen Stacy, I did see that Emma Stone is actually 4. she wants to come back.
Yeah, and I know Marvel said they were going to bring her. They were going to bring her back at least in a producing role.
Yeah,
a long time ago, and everyone thought it was for a Spider-Woman one. And what most people know is Spider-Woman doesn't actually have any spider powers.
Right, she's a psychic.
Yeah, it's like psionic abilities. So, but everyone thought they were bringing her back to direct or produce that. And they think that Daisy Ridley would be a perfect fit for that. Obviously, the Star Wars ties, but yeah. So I don't know.
I'm pretty sure Daisy Ridley in a recent interview said she's not interested in doing a superhero movie.
Yeah.
Pretty sure she said that.
She's worked with Tom Holland before, though. So.
Right. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. A lot of information we're throwing at
Emma Stone says she wants to come back. I think Miles should be the Miles universe.
Yeah, for the MCU. Yeah, but I think if they want to end Andrew's story and do that Spider-Gwen, I think that'd be pretty amazing, pretty remarkable. He would get his ending, I guess. But I would also love to see them, Venom's and Morbius's worlds be in the Amazing Spider-Man universe. So
that's what.
More.
There was a poll of 22,000 people saying which Spider-Man would you want to be the one going up against Morbius, and which one would you like to go up against Venom. Both resulted in Andrew Garfield getting 77% of the votes.
Yep.
So
it just makes too much sense, like, age-wise. Like they're age-wise, it's just the same. They're the same age. It's just
the next Sony thing is that Sony is considering a Spider-Man 4 with Sam Raimi. And then you put down, obviously, that means they'll do the Amazing Spider-Man 3 as well.
Yeah, I think the Amazing Spider-Man 3 makes too much sense for them. A lot of like teases and just stuff that Andrew Garfield didn't get to do in his run as Spider-Man, and it'd be a cash cow for Sony. So
for sure.
And then if they do another one with Tobey, if Tobey wants to be down for that, then I don't know, it might as well.
Yeah, well, I think that's smart. Not only are you cashing in, but it's just something that fans want, and both guys are good. I obviously, if I'm picking, I'm taking the Amazing Spider-Man 3 over Spider-Man 4.
Right, and then you can just leave Tom Holland to stay in the Marvel universe, and then you can do what you want in the Sony universe with Marvel's help, but you can do your Sinister Six that you've always wanted to do.
Which they should.
Right.
And they made multiple hints at Andrew Garfield not fighting an alien yet.
Yeah.
That's got to be Venom.
Right.
The next thing is, I want to mention, speaking of Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, apparently they were signed on to No Way Home in December of 2020.
Right.
So they knew.
They knew.
And apparently the first time they heard what was going on, they didn't care what the story was. They both were in.
They were down.
Yeah. So That's don't
awesome.
blame them. But they've been signed on for a while, and they've been hiding it for a long time.
Yeah, Andrew
has. Tobey hasn't been asked at all.
Tobey was like, I remember there's a thing where it's like, I asked Tobey if he was in the new Spider-Man. He was just like do a little like a little smile and then So whereas Andrew's like, no, I have no idea.
He did the week before the movie came out. He said, "I am sorry, I am not in it. I'm sorry to disappoint you."
Yeah, and then Tobey's just like,
I'm not hiding anything. I'm too old for this to fake it.
There's a car there. I can't move, motherfucker.
There's people there, you asshole. Tobey. Well, we mentioned Venom, Morbius, that sort of thing. Let's jump into the last Sony topic we have. Sony. Morbius is going to be 1 hour and 48 minutes, which is longer than Venom 2, but shorter than Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah, that seems like a good length.
I agree. It's going to be more origin story than anything else, so you're not building much. You don't need it to be too long. It's less than 2 hours.
It's not like what was Venom, like $1.32 or like an
Venom
hour
was
32?
like 90 something minutes.
Yeah. So I don't know. You're getting 15 more minutes, which could have done worlds.
My wife wants that all the time.
Yeah. Minutes?
Yeah. It's just 15 more minutes. It's not a chance. For me, it's like, no, you're getting that.
I mean, the runtime for Morbius is 1 hour and 48 minutes. I'm lucky to get to 1 hour and 48 seconds. That's or 1 minute and 48 seconds.
I was going to say, wow, that's still impressive. But yeah, so I think that's a perfect.
It'll be good length. There's gonna be
it's still a good length to introduce some characters and
post-credit scene or two. So
anyway, that's it for Sony Sony. The last couple things were Marvel before we jump into the miscellaneous section, which is Okoye is going to have a same-sex relationship with another member, a fellow member of the Dora Mijale. I think that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I have no issues with that.
Marvel's been doing their best to include LGBT, people with disabilities as well. So they're doing.
She obviously was in a relationship with a male in the first Black Panther. So
right. And speaking of that, Marissa Tomei said she wanted Aunt May to have a female partner.
Oh.
So, yeah, they've had multiple people they want to include with LGBT. That's apparently one they'll be bringing up. And then the last thing is that we'll be getting a She-Hulk teaser trailer in mid-January.
I'm all for it. I want to get some of that, what we were talking about a couple episodes ago, of that kind of that fourth wall break. I'd love to get a taste of that in the teaser trailer.
Same. Where she talks to Kevin Feige or talks to us.
Yeah, and also like her hulking out for the first time and like screaming, like it's because like when Mark Ruffalo did in the first Hulk, it was like it showed an arm and then him like convulsing, and then all of a sudden it was like the look in his eye, and then it was like and that's kind of what I want with her.
Sure, I agree.
She's gonna be like dying, right? It's gonna be like dying, and then I'd love to see it if it's like she's on the like hospital bed and it's like she flatlines, but then like Hulk, yeah, but then it's like beep 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 beep, and then she just goes and like rips apart a hospital or something.
I in the teaser itself, I just hope you see some of her go green and I see some of the fourth wall break.
Yeah,
that's all I want. That's it for Marvel. Anything else?
No.
All right, so let's jump into our miscellaneous section. First is superhero related. The Batman next trailer came out. I watched it. Every trailer that's come out has made me less and less interested in the movie. I've been super excited, and honestly, I watched it and I was like, I don't know if I really care about this movie.
I think I didn't really care. I don't really care for the I was gonna say Black Cat, Catwoman. I mean, I obviously I know it's important to Batman, but I didn't.
And we're getting her origin story, which is cool.
Yeah, I think I still haven't seen enough of Riddler. I don't quite get
They're
it.
hiding him.
I don't get it, and then you're getting bits and pieces of Penguin, but also he's not injured. So are we gonna get that too? And so his injury that gives him the limp or whatever. So sure. Yeah, I don't know. It's just not enough to really put the pieces together yet. So I guess I'm still curious.
I'm curious about the Riddler. We saw some Penguin, but really the movie, I don't know if they're just not advertising right or what's going on, but I'm losing a lot of interest in it.
I think
I really hate his hair. Really hate his hair. I don't know about you, but man, Robert Pattinson looks so stupid with his bowl cut.
Yeah, the weird okay. But I think it'll. If your expectations are dropping for the movie, it usually exceeds them.
Well, yeah. Right now, the movie looks like it'll probably exceed my expectations because every trailer has made me less interested. I was more hyped at when they released his potential costume, where it looked like they were shooting it in the graveyard cemetery looking place.
The first one was sweet, and then I don't think the first trailer was sweet, and I don't think you can top that because it's who are you? And we thought it was gonna be I'm Batman, and then it's I am vengeance, and then he just beats the shit out of the dude.
Yeah,
but
which vengeance is referenced again in this one.
Yeah, your vengeance or whatever.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Ended with the first one.
Agreed. Just leave it. Do the Spider-Man thing and rely on leaks and delays, building hype. Next thing is we'll talk about your question last, I think. The Witcher. You've watched 3 or 4 episodes.
I think I'm 4. I just watched the 4th one.
Okay, so have you heard the song? Burn Butcher Burn.
Huskier, yeah. Huskier.
What did you think of his Burn Butcher? I liked it better than Toss a Coin.
I don't think it is different. Yeah, I'd like to hear the full track, but
I listened to it immediately after the episode.
No, I thought that Toss the Coin to Your Witcher was catchier.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's more poppy, catchy, and I think Burn Butcher Burn is more of if you were watching a Broadway play of The Witcher, Burn Butcher Burn is more musical.
Yeah,
it's a musical number.
Yeah.
So I appreciated the art in that style more. That's just my own personal opinion. But because I was talking to my wife about it because I wanted her to listen, and she actually watched 2 episodes with me, which I was surprised to. She said that she liked Toss a Coin better, or she likes both, but she understands why people like Toss a Coin better because it's much more mainstream.
Right.
And she's like, that's so much more folksy or like show tuny. And I was like, yeah, but I like it. But if you haven't,
there's a lot of emotion in the Burn. So I think that's what's hitting with you.
Yeah.
But I definitely get it. Yeah.
Plus, Yaskier is one of the. I like him a lot.
Oh, yeah,
he's the only thing that makes.
He did really
laugh.
well. I spoiler warning. I thought him and Yennefer were gonna start making out.
Did you?
I thought they both had the look, and then they were like moving close, and then he's like, "All right, well,
I
never see you again."
It's because he hates her. Yeah. He's still. It doesn't matter what she does, he'll hate her. Right. But yeah, I finished it. Joe has not finished it, so we're gonna swap. We're not gonna do like a review or anything. I don't want to do that until Joe's done. But I have finished it, and if you haven't seen it yet, it is very good. Each episode gets better, in my opinion, which is
I actually really liked the second one too.
Yeah, it was good.
I think I'm not comparing it to the first season, but like I'm not disappointed.
It's completely different than the first season, and it's based on the chapters, like the Witcher 2, Witcher 3, that sort of thing. So I do think next season will be the final season, and I am interested to see where it goes. However, the last 2 episodes are completely different than the entire first 6 episodes. Like episodes 7 and 8 this season are just completely different paced. They're just, those are the ones I think people should look forward to the most, but switch their expectations because they're so different.
Yeah. Oh, I haven't been like disappointed at all. So like there was one point in maybe the last one I saw where I was like, all right, that's for sure a green screen. Like I could definitely tell that there was a green screen, but like other than that, like it all looks good. It all looks good so far. So
it does look good, and you'll see. I don't want to talk too much about it because I'm too tempted to spoil, but there's some other really good stuff you'll see in the last few episodes.
My favorite character, obviously I love Geralt, and Cyril is probably my favorite character. So
my wife was extremely impressed with Ciri. She's like, she is so good. And I was like, she's young too. And she's like, that doesn't matter.
Yeah, she just turned 20 or something. 21.
Which is why I said, I was like, I'm pretty sure during the first season, she's 17 or 18 during filming.
Yeah, she was playing a 13-year-old or something.
Yeah, and she was like, she's so good. So she watched the last 2 episodes with me. And she was like, I kind of want to watch the other ones. And then she's like, but I think I'd rather read the books. And I was like, read the books.
Yeah.
So that'll be it. I'm too tempted to spoil. So that's all we'll talk about with The Witcher. Next thing, Betty White turned 100. Is turning 100. So happy birthday, legend. Dick Van Dyke just turned 90 something. So you got a couple like comedy, like old school TV legends. She's still happy, healthy. She says she's thankful where she is. So she's one of my favorites.
There's a tweet that said Betty White can't get over Ryan Reynolds or something like that, and then Ryan Reynolds tweeted at him and it's like, I hate when they bring up clickbait things from past
old relationships. Yeah. One of my favorite quotes from Betty White was when she was like 89 or 91. Like it was a while back, but she was still like older. And they asked her, what is the key to such a long and happy life? And she said, sex every day. That's still just a legend. It's just, I love Betty White so much. We have one more, like
three more things.
One more superhero related, one extremely depressing thing, and then we'll finish with Joe's entertaining question. First thing is Sony's Spider-Man 2 game will feature symbiote versions of every suit in the game. So is that hinting that Venom's gonna take more part?
Venom was gonna like, that was the big reveal for Sony Spider-Man 2, is that Venom was gonna be like one of the main villains. So yeah, if they have all the suits, like you're gonna get a Iron Spider suit that's symbiote taking over. You're gonna get the like Miles Morales suit that's taking, like, all of these options. You can get an Agent Venom.
The first time I saw Venom outside of the comic books was the original PlayStation game where he showed up.
Yeah,
and that's what made me fall in love with Venom.
Yeah. So. You're in the like office building and you're like creeping around, and then Venom's like flying through the walls and stuff.
Like immediately after you fought Doc Ock.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's really cool. I haven't played Spider-Man because I don't have a PlayStation, but I think that's really cool news, and could mean something for the future of the Sonyverse.
Right.
Next thing is the terrible news, which is Riot Games. We do love League of Legends, Teamfight Tactics, those sorts of games, but and Riot, I've heard, is a great company to work for. However, they just had to pay out $100 million in a lawsuit for gender discrimination for anyone that recognizes as female was able to received payment for this, for discrimination against.
Right, it was more so, or it was a lot of. I mean, you bring up the Activision stuff too, and like they still haven't settled with like the whole state of California. So positive news, at least Riot is now officially trending in the right direction.
Sure.
In regards to female equality.
And unlike Activision Blizzard, League of Legends / Riot Games has not seen a decrease in players, which means most people seem to agree with the fact that they acknowledged they were wrong and they did what they could. Right.
And it was basically to the lines of that women who had the equal kind of like records, or not, what am I trying to say? The same like level of experience and stuff weren't being considered for the same job as their male counterparts.
Oh, sure.
And so and so that caused a lot of women not being able to move up in the company that is Riot, because they would be choosing the men for those roles first.
I used to work in a company that was classified as a tech company, where the average woman actually got paid more than their male counterpart. Fun fact, including my wife and I, who held the same position, but she made over $1 more an hour more than I did. So there are companies out there that are doing it right, and you got people like Riot that hopefully will make some changes.
Yep.
For now, they have to pay for it if they would have just paid those employees the proper wage, they probably
gave them a fair shot.
Yeah, probably wouldn't have cost them as much as they had to pay in their settlement. So maybe companies should think about that. The last thing, Joe has a question.
So
it has nothing to do with superheroes, that sort of thing. But,
so I saw a commercial.
Yes,
I saw a commercial. It was due to the Energizer battery, or the Energizer bunny, and I am a firm believer in Energizer. That is my battery of choice. I think Duracell's garbage. And then basically any generic brand is probably better than Duracell, in my personal opinion. But
shots fired. Okay.
This is a hate podcast.
Yeah, this is a Duracell slamming podcast. There goes any future sponsorships of Duracell. What up, Energizer?
So I saw. It was like a commercial. They were in the snow, and the Energizer bunny's out there, and he's hitting his thing or whatever. But like, does he poop batteries? Like, how do they get the like? They like had the Energizer bunny, and they're like, yeah, batteries or whatever. And it's like,
so in the commercial, were they getting batteries from him?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Because I've always taken him as like a mascot that represents the battery, which is why he never stops pounding, because we keep going and going and going was their slogan.
Yeah.
So like he keeps pounding on the drums because he represents what a battery does, what an Energizer battery does. I never have thought that he poops the batteries.
If he did, would the batteries be random?
Like, would they be AA, AAA, D, AA, D, 9 volt, AA? When he eats too many carrots, 9 volt. Well, I don't think he does poop batteries. Just want to say that.
Okay, but if he did,
I would say, so a normal rabbit poops like small pellets. So they would.
But a standard battery is AA.
Right. So they would all be AA. I think they would all be like AA or AAA, like the small ones.
Okay.
Otherwise, if he was a really good spokesperson, he or she, I'm not sure. If there was truly a good spokesperson, if they were truly a good spokesperson for Energizer, they would have a variety that they pooped out.
Okay.
Just want to, I think
I agree with you. I think it'd have to be a variety, because then how, like, would he be the origin for what batteries are?
Is that's where they were like, we've seen batteries before, we've never seen batteries like this.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, that is a messed up person for following this bunny around picking up their poop.
Is it though?
No, I guess not. I do that with people.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's our question there. That'll finish off.
That's the question of the day. Right
Answer
there.
that. We post a poll and a question with every Spotify post. So if you're listening on Spotify, that'll be our question this week. Does the Energizer bunny poop batteries? And if so, are they random? Let us know if you're watching on YouTube in the comment section. But that is it for our entertainment. We do have 2 sections of our podcast. We have a sports section as well. So if you like sports, feel free to check that out. I always link the full podcast at the end as well. So
can you do the weird little like thing in the corner? You know how they do that sometimes?
The corner, the card pops up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, other than that, you all look great today. Watch some Marvel stuff. Watch more episodes from our podcast. Check out
go look at the other ones where we predict everything that's happened in the last 2 weeks.
We have proof. We have facts. We got the receipts. So check those out, especially if you're interested. Otherwise, happy holidays. If you had a good Christmas, if you celebrated, I hope it was great. Happy New Year. Ring in the new year. Last podcast of the year. And you all look great today. GG.
GG.